Well, the Super Bowl, as you probably know, will be on ABC this Sunday. And so that we can appreciate how much this contest means to the players, we have a different kind of story. It's a celebration of the bond that people form when they reach a common goal. And it's about the bittersweet pleasure of savoring a golden moment. As Dick Schaap makes clear in this report, these are things we can all appreciate, whether we're football fans or not.
Come on, look at me, 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 look at me.
They were the Packers of Green Bay, Wisconsin. They were the Packers of Vince Lombardi. And long before they played in the first Super Bowl, they were a special team.
Come on, Messine, let's go here. You gotta...
The fierceness of their coach combined with the smallness of their city to force upon them a cohesiveness, a camaraderie, a closeness that, nurtured by victory, came very close to love.
Kind of thing you feel for a family member, for a brother, a sister, a mother. It's a feeling we had for each other, for the other members of the team, and for Coach Lombardi. It's a thing that will last forever, I guess.
That feeling has endured, so that now, 18 years after he led them to the first Super Bowl, 15 years after he died of cancer, Vince Lombardi lives in the mind of each man who played for him.
Do you think about him a lot?
Every day. And I love my father, who is also deceased, but I don't think about my father every day.
Lombardi was father figure and more to the Green Bay Packers. They loved him, hated him, feared him, respected him, everything except ignored him. He talked and 80 ears listened. He told them they had no choice in Super Bowl I. Winning was the only thing. They met here in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The Packers and the new kid on the block, the Kansas City Chiefs, the champions of the Young American Football League, and decidedly the underdogs in Super Bowl I, despite the presence of a brash cornerback named Fred Williamson, who promised to attack the Packers with the weapon that had become his nickname, the hammer.
The hammer, or more descriptively, a blow struck perpendicular to the Earth's latitude.
Oh, and he did catch me pretty good, and it kind of moved my helmet around a little bit, you know, but we had heard that he had broken a lot of helmets. And
I was hyped, man. I mean, I was there to hurt, kill.
Williamson remembers getting up before the game. Green Bay's Max McGee remembers staying up. At the age of 34, after catching only 4 passes all season, McGee saw no good reason to rest his body for the Super Bowl.
I was having a great time because my career was over. I was just basking in the California sun, getting ready to retire, and you know, sneaking out after curfew and going into L.A. to have a little fun once in a while. But
McGee had always been motivated by a fear of failure on the field and a different fear off.
I was scared to death to go to bed at night because I was afraid I'd miss something.
The night before the Super Bowl, McGee didn't miss anything except the team's curfew.
I'd been out. I'd met a little girl from Chicago, pretty little blonde, and we were getting on pretty good.
McGee didn't exactly miss curfew. He went back and observed it by getting into bed with his tie and jacket on and staying under the covers till a coach checked him in. Then he said goodbye to his roommate, Paul Horning, climbed down the fire escape, and went out to rejoin the blonde and resume the pleasures of life here on the Sunset Strip.
And we went out and kind of did the town, you know, a little dancing, a few beers, and gets pretty late, and anyway, I got in relatively late, something like close to breakfast time.
McGee made it to the Coliseum on time. 40,000 of these 100,000 seats were empty. The Super Bowl wasn't quite so super then, but Max was in his seat on the bench, talking to Horning, not really watching the game till...
About the 3rd or 4th play, it seems like. Lombardi says, McGee, in that famous voice, you know, that you hear. And I honestly didn't know he wanted me to play football. I thought for sure he wanted to find me.
Lombardi wanted McGee to play. One of the starting wide receivers had been leveled by the hammer. McGee didn't exactly sprint onto the field.
I said, oh, this is going to be a great day, right?
It was a great day for McGee, the greatest of his career. The first great moment, a bad pass from Bart Starr.
Then I reached back here to catch, to break up an interception. I was so sure that somebody's going to intercept the ball, and And when I did, it stuck in my hand. People say that was planned. Hell, that was an accident.
McGee caught the ball and danced to the end zone for the first touchdown in Super Bowl history. He caught 6 more passes, one for his second touchdown, a juggling catch that clinched the game. McGee wound up a hero, and the Hammer wound up hammered, knocked unconscious when he caught a knee in the face tackling a Green Bay runner.
You know who got hurt? The Hammer. The Hammer! Big Neil the Hammer. Hey, Sweat, the Hammer got it! The Hammer!
They got the hammer. They got the hammer. I mean, I think they were more excited about that than scoring a touchdown.
The Packers pulled away to a decisive victory, which was no disgrace for Kansas City. After all, Green Bay was in the middle of a 3-year reign as champions of the National Football League, a feat matched by no other team before or since. The Packers, seasoned and sturdy, most of them survivors of 7, 8, 9 NFL seasons, were so good that 6 of them were elected to the Professional Football Hall of Fame. They were an exceptional group of men off the field, too. McGee, for instance, earned so many millions helping to start Chi-Chi's, the fast Mexican food chain, he can afford to spend the rest of his life playing gin. Willie Davis is a walking conglomerate, a member of the board of directors of Fireman's Fund and MGM, owner of 5 radio stations and a beer and wine distributorship. And Ron Kostelnik, a defensive tackle, has built a firm that manufactures industrial belts into an $18 million a year business. Almost to a man, the Packers attribute their business success to Lombardi's teachings, except for McGee, who insists that off the field, as on, he was just lucky.
Not all of the Super Bowl Packers have been fortunate. One, Henry Jordan, died young of a heart attack. Another, Lionel Aldridge, a fine player and later a fine broadcaster, suffered a mental breakdown.
And Fuzzy Thurston, a gritty stump of a guard, suffered through a bankruptcy that wiped out a multi-million-dollar restaurant business. And worse, through a cancer operation that cost him his larynx. But Thurston has fought back, has opened a new saloon, has taught himself painfully to talk again.
And I haven't been a complete failure. Because if you got friends, you always got success.
A few months ago, Thurston and his friend Ray Nitschke organized a reunion of the team that won the first Super Bowl. And 29 of the champions showed up.
Gee, it's good to see you after all these years. Gee, you've really lifted my morale.
You never could remember a play.
You'll be surprised, Mr. Kramer.
Kept it all together after all these years.
Take the act of Congress to find out what I read.
What's your secret, old pal?
My wife knows what I wear. You know them heavy, that's all.
They came in all sizes and shapes, with long hair and with almost none. Some approaching 50, some saying goodbye to it. They gathered for a golf tournament and scattered in the Wisconsin mist and uncorked the strangest variety of swings.
Oh, I don't know.
And lied about their handicaps and about the last time they played. But the main sport was reminiscing. The big game was nostalgia. Before they watched Green Bay, coached by their old teammate Forrest Gregg, play San Diego, Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston visited their old locker room, their old meeting room, now part of the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame.
Fuzz, let's pretend for a minute that I'm a rookie on the opening day of training camp, and you're Vince Lombardi. You stand up here and...
Oh, I'll give that a shot.
Give me a...
It'll be easy, but I'll give it a shot.
I know it's not going to be easy, but give me just a little indoctrination into the Packer legend, the Packer way of life, the Packer attitude.
Gentlemen, welcome to Green Bay. This is what football is all about. The Green Bay Packers. You are the privileged few that have been chosen, maybe, to wear the greatest colors of football, the green and gold, of the Green Bay Packers.
One by one, 18 years later, the men who won Super Bowl I raced onto the field at Green Bay. To wear the green and gold once more. To hear the cheers one more time. To hug grown men once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first Super Bowl team ever.
To smile. To laugh. To giggle. To slap an opposing player one more time. To pose for pictures. To clown. To kibitz.
My wife asked me, said, where is Green Bay? I said, I don't know. I had to get a map up to find out where it was.
I did too.
To watch two football games. One on the field, one in the mind. To recapture youth. To regret age. To cheer. To remember and remember and remember. To remember what was best of all. Not that they once won a Super Bowl, but that they once loved and still did.
Dick Schaap joins us now from San Francisco, where he's awaiting the Super Bowl game. Oh, Dick, that was so nice. Tell me, did the love that these guys had for the game, did it have anything to do with high salaries? Were they making it then?
They certainly weren't. The men who play out here in the Super Bowl game this Sunday will be making more for that one game than almost all the Packers made for the whole season the year they won the first Super Bowl. They made $25,000, $30,000 all year, which seems like change compared to the $300,000, $400,000 salaries now.
Wow. And do they still have that same feeling about each other?
They do. When Herb Adderley saw Jerry Kramer recently, he said to him, "JK, I love you forever and beyond." That's an awfully long time.
And that's enough.